From your own experience, what were the kind of things that you found that either we at working with cancer or others outside working with cancer, what was you find the most helpful and what was the least helpful, would you say?
So I think because being a caregiver, it's an invisible workload. It's a it's not something as if you've broken your leg. I mean, it's like anybody with cancer, to be honest with you, because it's invisible for them. Most people can't see it unless once you have physical side effects, you lost your hair or something. And so I would say that the dealing with the unpredictability, it. So I did say the most helpful. I think certainly with working with cancer, and I was fortunate to be obviously in an environment of people who actually understand what I was going through. So that helped a lot. But I appreciate not everyone has that luxury. But I think the simple things about simple human understanding that I didn't have to over explain. When I said, I'm sorry, I need to cancel, I need to postpone, I didn't have to go into big dialogue about why or something. Or because sometimes you'd have to literally drop things at the last minute. And I remember sitting and then some things you could do because you'd bring your phone and reply to emails, and it was quite a nice distraction. But sometimes you'd literally have to drop off the earth and disappear. And I think having that flexibility without drama, that trust, when I called in or sent a message, and not only to yourself but also to clients, because I had things lined up with clients or with coachees, and I'd explained to all of them I was in the situation. So they understood, and they're very very much sort of a family first sort of approach. And in some ways, especially with clients and coachees, because I was going through this is real life. And I actually remember saying to one client, I said, "This is what it's like as a caregiver. I can't plan for it." I'd say the least helpful, and it's not a negative, but people have positive intent, is like these sort of platitudes, like, "Oh, yeah, stay positive, be good." I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, you have and no idea. And I also think about people sort of minimize the uncertainty of everything, that they can't understand. Well, you have your chemo cycles, and because maybe they've lived with someone who's had chemo or something, and they said, oh well, you do your 3 cycles every 3 weeks, and you have a bit of nausea on the first week and the second week. Everybody's experience is different. So you may have been a caregiver or yourself have gone through cancer and they thought, well, okay, this is how it's going to be from everyone else. But everybody's experience is unique, and you've got to appreciate that. And the other piece, and I know it's people are well meaning by it, but it really used to grate me, this over optimism. It's when you're in the dark of it, you want support, but you don't need people being cheerleaders, because you really don't know what's going to happen, and you have to be level-headed. You don't want to be in the depths of depression, but you don't want to be naive enough to think this is a walk in the park. So you need level-headed support, not sort of this unauthentic over-optimism. Although people might think they're doing the right thing to support you, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think people always mean well, but it's that, as you say, and it happens obviously with people when they get cancer,
Yeah,
people say, "Oh, you'll be fine," and they can't possibly know you'll be fine,
exactly.
but they feel it's important to be relentlessly positive and to kind of say it'll be okay when nobody knows that.
Yeah.
And I remember that happening in to me. So, but yeah, it's not helpful in any situation to
No,
have that
yeah.
false image.
I think there the empathy element comes in, because
Yeah.
empathy is that balance between listening and understanding, giving some gentle support without being the cheerleader. And I think that's that nice balance is
Yeah.
what's, and yeah, both if you're a patient or a caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking back, I think you're sort of hoping you're out of the woods right
Yeah.
now.
Touching wood.
Thank God. Yes, I'm touching wood on my desk here as well,
Yeah.
Veronica.
Yeah.